Hey everyone, Dan Mortimer with eXp Realty, and it's time for another weekly Las Vegas and Henderson market update. This is for basically effective the week of November 18th, 2024. We pulled data for the last 7 days, the previous week, and show you what's going on in our market. So let's get into the data here. In the last 7 days, we've seen 552 new listings that hit the market. There were 121 that came back on the market. So they had an agreement, buyer for whatever reason didn't perform, the deal fell through, property went back on the market. So we had 121 of those. 613 listings had a price decrease of some kind. Again, varying ranges. I know I've mentioned that in my other updates. Could be $1, could be $100,000. As far as properties going under contract, there were 207 that went into under contract show, and then another 331 that went into under contract no show status. So in total, you're talking about 538 that went under contract compared to 552 new listings. Now, if you've been paying attention to these and following these, or if you're watching them on the playlist going back to front, you'll see this is a much smaller gap than what we've seen in previous weeks. Usually there's a gap of anywhere from, on the low end, 50 to 60, up to 100, 150, in some cases 200 homes. Whereas this week, 552 new listings, 538 going under contract. So a lot of people that we're talking about, I'm going to wait until the election, I'm going to wait until the spring. What I've been telling you all this time is starting to happen. We're seeing the activity pick up. More buyers are putting homes under contract, moving forward with their purchases. And there's a good chance, again, nobody knows. Anybody who tells you exactly what's going to happen in the next 6 months in real estate, that it's an educated guess at the very best. Nobody knows what the future holds. But what I can say is this is the trend that I expected. As the election ends, we get towards the end of the year, we're going to start seeing buyer confidence pick up and more people jumping on homes. And like I said, that's a small gap. 538 under contract compared to 552. That's only 14 homes, a 14 home difference basically. So absorption's getting higher. There's a chance we may start to see the inventory start dropping as opposed to slightly growing. Now, as far as the solds go, there were 422 properties that sold in the last 7 days. Now, that's not necessarily directly tied to the other data because in most cases, you have a property that goes under contract and you're talking, a quick deal could be 7 to 10 days, but most of these are between 30 and 45 days out from when you go under contract to the point that you actually close the transaction. So just to provide some additional context there. And then there were another 52 homes that were put into what's called coming soon status, meaning they will be active on the market in the next 30 days, but it's kind of a pre-market status. Let's get into the active listings. Active single-family home listings, we are sitting at 6,003 single-family homes. Again, that's a single-family detached, not attached to the home next door, nothing above or below like a condo or a townhome. As far as condos go, there are 1,207 condos actively listed and 726 townhouses. So again, I think this trend that we're seeing is kind of a continuation of what I expected. I don't know that I necessarily expected it to be this quick, but we are definitely seeing buyer confidence and buyer activity pick up in the market. And what does that mean? More buyers in the market means more competition. It's a positive for sellers because it means that they're going to have more buyers interested in their property. It likely means that you may come across some multiple offer situations, and we may start to see our overall days on market, meaning how many days it takes for a home from the day it gets listed to the day it finds a buyer and goes under contract. We may start to see that number start to go down as well. We saw a slight uptick in overall sales month over month for the market in October. And like I said, I know I talked to a lot of buyers that were either waiting until spring or waiting until the election or waiting until rates came down. And a lot of people are they're at a point where they can comfortably afford to buy a home. And so they're moving forward. They're not waiting for the spring because it's going to likely be much more competitive. So overall, positive trend for sellers that are thinking about selling. Just because there's more activity in the market doesn't mean that you can overprice your home. Buyers are still very price sensitive. and appraisals can sometimes affect that as well. So if you're thinking about selling, doesn't mean that you can just overprice your home and you're going to get tons and tons of offers. That this is still not that type of market. You still have to price competitively, but what it means is if you have a property in a great community that's going to have strong demand, there's a good chance that you can maybe get a little bit more now than you could have a couple months ago, which is a positive sign. But that being said, it's, a lot still has to do with how you price your home, the condition that it's in, and you still have to put yourself in the best position possible to try to attract multiple offers. Looking at it from a buyer's perspective, I know I've mentioned it several times before that this is kind of a unique window of opportunity to get into a home. I still believe that, until we start seeing these numbers flip and we're seeing more properties going under contract than we're seeing new listings, and it's a big gap. Our inventory is still decent. I know I've mentioned it before in previous updates that to me, we've been so spoiled by how crazy things were in 2020, 2021, and part of 2022 that now that the market's gotten back to kind of a healthier state, we see it as, oh, it's so slow, it's a buyer's market and buyers can get whatever they want. Not necessarily the case. Buyers can definitely get favorable terms on a home, but you still have to be reasonable. You still have to come in somewhat strong on your price unless you come across a desperate seller, which there just aren't very many of them. They're sitting on a lot of equity. The prices continue to go up, so a lot of sellers are just pricing their home where they are and saying, okay, once somebody pays my price, then I'll sell. Otherwise, I'm happy to keep building equity. So interesting market that we're in right now, but we are starting to see the trend shift a little bit to where the inventory is likely going to start declining over the next few months. But we'll keep an eye on things. These next 2 weekly updates that I'm going to give are going to be a little bit different because, this week we're leading up to the Formula One race at the end of the week. That doesn't necessarily have a big impact on the single family homes. It more has an effect on properties along the strip and downtown, high-rise condos, properties like that. But what we are going to see is the following week with the Thanksgiving holiday in the United States, we may see the numbers skewed a little bit. So something to keep an eye on as we kind of move towards the end of the year here. But I hope you guys got some value from this video. There are 2 ways that you can support this channel and support me. The main thing that I ask you to do is please be sure to subscribe and like my videos. When you subscribe, you get notifications when I put new videos up on my YouTube channel, and think of it just like following somebody. There's no cost to do it. It's completely free. It just allows you to get notifications when I post videos, and it helps me to get in front of more awesome people that are looking to either buy or sell a home in the Las Vegas, Henderson area. And the other way that you can support this channel and support me is if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, I'd love to set up a time to talk to you. I offer no hassle consultations, no cost, no obligation to buy or sell. It's more an opportunity for me to get to know you better, learn about your situation, and see what I can do to help. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will catch you guys at the next one. Take care.